Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 19 of Comic Relief, the live weekly talk show for all things comics, their live adaptations, and anything else that makes you want to get nerdy with it here on The Box, the live podcast network bringing you the latest and greatest in comic, horror, anime, and music news. If you like what we're here about on The Box, did I say that right? If
Yeah,
you like
you
what
did.
we're here about, it just sounded weird. I gotta I gotta rewrite
If you
that.
like what we're about here on the box, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to help the algorithm. We really appreciate it.
There you go. There you go. Like, share, and subscribe. Anyway, we're here twice this week. Twice. Why is that? Why is that, Jagger? Why are we here twice?
Loki season finale. We're finally on like the same time track as everybody else, mainly
Exactly.
because Xander's going on vacation.
Yes, I am going on vacation this weekend, so I will not be here. Well, technically, if we can work something out, I might actually still technically be on Comic Relief. Maybe
True.
we could work out the logistics later. But yes,
True.
yes, we are here twice this week because Loki's season finale was last night or yesterday or
Yesterday.
whenever, depending on whenever you decided to watch it. If you're like Jagger, it was like super early in the morning.
Dude, I watched it on my way to work.
I literally woke up and I saw a message. Hey, just let me know when you see it. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, that's me. You
Yeah.
send me messages back like you already watched it. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm on top of this shit.
Yeah. I usually have to wait. But anyway, welcome to episode 19 of Comic Relief. We are your hosts. I am Xander.
I'm Jagger, and tonight we're doing our reactions, breakdown, and settling the feud for the Loki season finale.
Yes, sir. Yes,
no
sir.
new-
So,
No news tonight because we covered all the news on Tuesday. We'll have more news for you this upcoming Tuesday. So let's just squash this out the gate. Who was technically right?
me.
Both of us.
Yeah, technically
Because-
both of us were right.
Technically, both of us were right. So they did exactly what I thought they were going to do, but they did it in a way Xander kind of went in more detail with. They combined two characters.
Exactly.
So
And who did they combine?
They combined Immortus, who I said, and He Who Remains, who is the original creator of the
Which
TVA.
I did throw out there.
You threw that out there at like end of episode 4, I think. So you're
Yep.
a little way ahead of that.
See, I'm thinking.
But I do have to give the apology to Xander.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
They
hey,
did-
you really want to be wrong 3 times in a row? Huh?
Okay, so you're 1 for 3. You got one.
Exactly. Hey, I'm on the
proud-
board. I'm on the
I'm
board
proud-
now.
I'm proud of you. They did use Jonathan Majors as the likeness of Kang. No costume. He was just him. And a
Well,
nice little
actually,
getup.
technically the costume, if you look at it closely, it looks very similar to Immortus.
Yes, it is much closer to Immortus. They never actually say the word Immortus. I was kind of waiting for it, but they never
Yeah.
did. But he did say, Miss Minutes keeps calling him He Who Remains. So
Right.
yeah,
So I think
we
they're
were both
kind of
right.
going. I think they're kind of trying to keep him more along the lines of He Who Remains, but
But
loosely.
this was the
Immortus.
introduction of Kang.
Yes.
The whole deal is that he exists, like I said, to keep the timeline so that he continues to become Immortus, or He Who Remains, whatever you want to call him. And that there are infinite number of Kangs out there on different timelines. One being Kang the Conqueror, which is a different version, which we have multiple different versions that we mentioned on Tuesday. Actually, we mentioned Nathaniel Richards, who is Kang, is a different version of Kang. He's Reed Richards' father. We have Kang the Conqueror. We have Immortus.
Was he Reed
we have-
Richards' father? I thought he was like Reed Richards' like great grandson or something like that.
No, it's his father or grandfather, one of the two.
Interesting. Okay.
Let me fact check that real quick while we're on the
Yeah.
on the subject.
Let's go ahead and check that. But yeah, so we have Nathaniel Richards, we have Immortus, we have Kang the Conqueror, we have Pharaoh Ramatut.
Yep, that was the
He's
other
all over the place.
It's his father, by the
Is
way.
his father? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
him and Evelyn.
Oh,
Evelyn
okay.
Richards.
Okay. So let me see here. I want to see if I can pull up some images and maybe we can utilize one of the scene or one of the little thingy things, the things that I made.
Things that he made that we never use because we're always
yeah.
just busy talking.
Yeah, we're always so busy talking. But you go ahead and talk while I find some stuff.
But the whole basis for the episode was like Kang explaining that you can't let the other versions of him out, like we had said. He's basically imprisoned in the multiverse, being separate from the sacred timeline. The sacred timeline is the perfect version of Kang becoming He Who Remains at the end of time. So we were both right on that theory. And they presents the conundrum to Sylvie and Loki. Sylvie wants to kill him because she's a bloodthirsty bitch. And
Oof.
yeah.
Oof.
I'm sorry. I was irritated with her the entire episode.
Yeah, a lot of people are starting to compare her to like Star-Lord in Endgame.
Yes, very much so. Like she couldn't get her own.
Or not Endgame, Infinity War. I'm sorry.
Infinity War. Yeah. It was very much that. I equated her to that almost immediately. I was like, okay, Star-Lord, stop it. She's constantly trying to kill him. Kang is explaining that he knows exactly what's going to happen up to the end of time, so he knows exactly what she's going to do, blah, 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 up until a point where, as he's explaining things going, like the way things are going, he hits the threshold. He said, oh, we've passed the threshold. You get past the point where he knows what's going to happen, and it's up to Loki and Sylvie to make this choice. He presents them with the offer. They can either kill him, break the multiverse, and release an infinite number of Kangs onto the timeline, or they can take his place and continue the sacred timeline and run the TVA to keep the sacred timeline running smoothly. What does Sylvie do? She decides to fight Loki, kick him through to the TVA again, and kill Kang. Well, kill He Who Remains, releasing the universe into the multiverse. And when Sylvie kicks Loki, because I don't want to spoil too much because people need to watch this episode. This episode is probably the best episode.
I mean,
of
we
Marvel
didn't
TV
do a spoiler alert, but at this point, you know,
if you're
spoilers
watching
have
it,
kind of.
If you're watching this episode of Comic Relief, then you need to have seen the show. If not, what are you doing?
We got a spoiler alert here.
We kind of just jumped right into it, but
yeah.
So Sylvie kicks Loki back to the TVA, kills He Who Remains. Loki ends up finding Mobius and B-15, who happen to not know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And the show ends with him looking up at a statue of Kang the Conqueror.
Yep.
Our major to-be villain in Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which is going to be like our penultimate film in Phase 4.
Yeah.
The only other notable thing to say is that the post-credit scene is just a stamp going on Loki's file that says that Loki is renewed for a season 2, which is amazing because I feel like this is going to be their answer to what they wanted Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're going to have Loki basically in and out of the timeline, fixing things, because the next like phase or two is going to be basically timeline based, multiverse based.
Yeah.
So having this as like their correspondence as how they wanted Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to be, and they've learned from their mistakes, I think it'll be good for them.
So I was trying to find an image of the actual Kang statue at the end, but I can't really find a good quality photo of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep us on this screen for now. But another notable moment that I wanted to mention was, so we don't see too much of Ravonna Renslayer, and the last thing we do see is after the conversation that Miss Minutes has, which, by the way, Miss Minutes has no business doing a jump scare like that. That was uncalled for.
Hello.
Hi, y'all.
It was great.
What the?
It was great. I loved it.
I was not ready for that.
I was expecting some big grand entrance, and I'm sitting there like, I know this is where they're gonna do it. I know this is where they're gonna do it. Is it gonna be Kang? Is it gonna be Immortus? Is it gonna be somebody completely different? And then Miss Minutes pops out of nowhere. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this thing ruined my moment, and kind of led us up to a better reveal. Because like, not gonna lie, when that elevator opened and Jonathan Majors walks out, kind of boss.
No. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I was right. They're gonna fucking introduce him right here. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's funny because like I wanted to live tweet about it, but I didn't want to spoil it for Xander. So if you look at my Twitter feed, you literally just see a post at 5:55 in the morning that says "son of a bitch."
Hold on, I gotta see this. I'm going on Twitter right now.
I think it's 5:55 in the morning. There's a timestamp on it. If you go to my Twitter, you can quote tweet me if you want. Like, trying to find it myself. It was literally Wednesday morning. It just says July 14th.
Yep, there it is.
5:56 a.m. is what it is. 5:56. I was close. It just says "son of a bitch." And everyone was asking me like,
that.
and everyone was like, "Are you good? Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, Loki finale." Because like I was crypt tweeting all day long that day because I didn't want to spoil it for anybody. I wanted to save all my reactions for the show, and I wanted to talk to Xander about it offline, and we did. And just that was the exact moment where he walked on screen. I was like, son of a bitch.
And the great thing is, so I am familiar with Jonathan Majors mostly from Lovecraft Country, and for the most part, his character was very serious. And there were only like kind of glimpses of comedic moments for him. But the way he portrayed this version of Immortus / He Who Remains, I thought he did phenomenal. Like just kind of like that, kind of like, hey, yeah, I've been stuck here at the end of time for, way too long. Hey, so and it like I don't know, it just felt right to me. But
see, I got introduced to Jonathan Majors in the last Black Man in San Francisco.
Okay.
Movie from like 2019, and it was a very serious film as well. And then I learned more about him with Lovecraft Country. So he's played a lot of serious roles or sad roles, and this is his kind of first. Haha, I'm evil. Hey, what's up?
Oh,
I'm not evil.
Yeah, he's not really evil, honestly.
They present him as the quote unquote villain of the show, but he's not evil. He's just trying to protect the timeline because
he's just an antagonist. That's all.
Yeah, he knows about Kang the Conqueror and all the other versions of Kang that are evil, and he's just like, we don't want them on the timeline. We don't want them mucking about. So we should probably deal with that by keeping the timeline sacred. And so he's just like, nah, gotta kill him, gotta do the stab thing. And I'm like, sit down, shut up, let things happen. But she doesn't.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
I was pissed.
However, thankfully, thank you, Sylvie, because now she has just given us the next 10 plus years of Marvel Cinematic Universe content.
We have the next saga, which people are unofficially calling it the Multiverse Saga.
Okay.
Where we had the first generation of Marvel Cinematic Universe was the Infinity Saga. Now we get the Multiverse Saga.
Right. And also, this actually kind of paves the way for... So, we've already noticed that they've been setting up the Young Avengers. And there is a notable member of the Young Avengers who is also connected to Kang.
Nathaniel Richards?
Iron Lad?
Yeah. Iron Lad is Nathaniel Richards as a boy.
Yeah.
He's a time traveler, so a younger version of himself time travels and starts the Young Avengers.
Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a thing.
That could definitely be a thing, especially after we get Hawkeye next year and we get Kate Bishop, because that's going to be the official intro for her.
And technically, that could explain why the actress playing Stature, Ant-Man's daughter, has completely changed.
Yeah.
That still pisses me off. I feel like they should have kept the original actress. Apparently
they've just changed it a few times.
Well, apparently they didn't even like let the original actress know. They just like she literally found out the same way everyone else did.
Really? They pulled a Matthew Lillard on her, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's cold.
Yeah. So that was fucked up.
Okay, so knowing what we know, what do you think? Well, we know what the next step is. We know we're getting a peek into the multiverse with the Marvel's What If animated show, which is basically going to be the Watcher explaining how the multiverse works to indoctrinate people into the many different variations of things that could come about in the future. Yep. But past that, we know the multiverse is supposed to play a part in Spider-Man.
Yep. And this would clearly answer the question as to why Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx are confirmed to be reprising their villainous roles in this movie. And the very strongly rumored appearance of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's versions of Spider-Man.
Yep.
And Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, and so on and so forth, with all the fucking rumors surrounding Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But we don't know anything for sure because we don't have a fucking trailer yet.
Yeah. Still waiting on that. I think that'll come out soon, though. I think.
Yeah, and if you've gotten to this point, please like, share, and subscribe if you want a Spider-Man trailer.
Yes. Yes, please, because it's been far overdue.
Yeah.
We have short trailers for movies that are coming out early next year. Like we have an actual like theatrical trailer for Morbius that doesn't come out until end of January of next year. And we don't have a trailer for Spider-Man, which comes out in what, 4 months?
We have a trailer for Venom 2 already.
Yep. And we don't even have a teaser trailer for Spider-Man yet.
Yep. See, if this were my own stream, this is the point where I put in the fucking zoom and just like stare at the camera intently. Also, I see you, Husky. Yeah, the landlord. He still wants his rent.
Yeah. Toby's still waiting for him to fix the damn door.
Oh man, but yeah. So we have this leading into What If that will tie into all the different variants of everything else. And then we have Spider-Man, as well as I've heard potentially Eternals. I've heard that could be the reason as to why the Eternals are resurfacing.
Yeah, that's my thought, because I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to give us like a origin story for the Eternals, because I keep forgetting about the Eternals, honestly.
Yeah, same.
I'm so damn focused on Spider-Man and Doctor Strange 2 that I've just completely forgotten about the Eternals. And honestly, I think with the multiverse breaking and Kang the Conqueror basically being the major threat, that's definitely why the Eternals would resurface and enter the MCU for sure.
But then what part do the Celestials play in all of that as well? Like that's where I'm a little confused, because because you have, so if let's say you have Kang as kind of like our Thanos of this saga, right? And then you're also introducing the Eternals and the Celestials. What part does that play in all this? And then also even going back as to like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier stuff, how does that really fit? I feel like that's not necessarily really tied into this main storyline. That's kind of like some side arcs that will be woven into what's going on with this main multiverse saga. Excuse me. That's happening. So, and that would kind of make sense going down the line, especially with Shang-Chi coming up. That would kind of like fit in with the whole Falcon and Winter Soldier, Black Widow kind of establishing things on the side.
Yeah.
But even then, like I still haven't seen any indication of what's happened as far as the multiverse breaking. So I'm assuming everything that we've seen before was prior to the multiverse splitting. And potentially Shang-Chi could also take place before the multiverse splitting, and then maybe
I'm thinking Shang-Chi does play into that.
Like maybe like a post-credit scene, kind of like how in Ant-Man the Wasp, when everyone just blipped in the post-credit scene.
Yeah. Probably. But sorry, I'm trying to find I know there's a connection between Kang and the Celestials. Because I know Kang gives Uriel his axe. Yeah, okay, so Kang the Conqueror covers Jarnbjorn from Baron Mordo's tomb in Brazil. Jarnbjorn is it's a Dwarven Forge battle axe. And it was assimilated by the Headless Celestial, which the Headless Celestial is now the head of Nowhere.
Yeah.
Yes. So Kang gives this axe to Uriel during his time becoming the new Apocalypse, and he uses that axe to kill the Celestial Gardener, and it kickstarts another like apocalypse mutant rapture.
Oh.
So I'm thinking Kang's connection with the Eternals will explain the decimation, which explains why we haven't had mutants yet, which will then kickstart us into getting mutants in the MCU. That's
Oh,
my
okay.
theory. Because eventually it's going to end up leading, if they keep the Kang thing going for a good long while, and they keep the Eternals type storyline going for a little bit, we might get a Celestial Watcher War.
Oh.
And we may also get the Eternity War, because they start talking a lot about the Celestials and the Beyonders in connection with the Dark Dimension with Dormammu, Mephisto, Lord Chaos, etc. And that brings about a fifth host of Celestials. And if we look at what we have so far in the MCU, we have had about 3 hosts of Celestials at this point.
Okay.
Maybe 4. The 4th would be about the time where mutants come back. But I don't know, because they haven't mentioned Celestials other than in passing, where most of them are gone, in hiding, or dead.
Right.
So they might be using this mystical side of the storyline to explain the rebirth of Celestials and the entrance of mutants into the MCU. And Kang is a big connector point for that. Because Kang would go on to find a different version of himself, which then becomes the next Apocalypse, which then forsakes the identity of Kang and becomes mutated to not be Kang at all. And he adjusts the timeline to the point to the point where, God, I'm getting so many like comic book storylines mixed up in my head. Kang, this version of Kang becomes not Kang, which then becomes Apocalypse, like the original Apocalypse, like Abin Sur. It's bizarre how it works.
That is.
But
Coop says hashtag Immortus, but also there are no all right answers. I mean, we kind of established that we were both right and wrong at the same time.
Yeah. We had our
right.
correctness and we had our wrongness. We squashed the feud. We're back to agreeing on everything.
But the one thing, if the one thing that I want to leave here tonight with, though, is the fact that I was right that they're going to bring in Jonathan Majors in the finale.
Yeah.
Come on. You got to give me that.
I already gave you that. Don't milk it.
Oh, I'm going to milk it. Oh, I got that cow. I got that cow. I'm milking it.
But so from where we're at now, I don't think they're going to go straight to Celestials. I believe they're probably going to use the Eternals as kind of a jumping off point to keep inserting Kang, sort of like they did with Thanos, but in a more direct way. So,
yeah.
At the end of Loki, we've confirmed the multiverse is a thing now.
Yep.
We know our next release for sure, besides like What If and all that stuff, is the Eternals, right? Or is that Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi's first.
Before the Eternals?
Yeah, Shang-Chi is September.
Eternals is November?
Eternals is November. Oh, I don't have that on our calendar. When does the Eternals come out?
November 5th.
November 5th. Okay, so we have Shang-Chi, which is going to be the origin of Shang-Chi, which I think that's going to feed into more of the... Surprisingly enough, I feel like it's going to feed more into that grounded storyline we've been getting from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Because it's giving us a look back at Abomination, possibly some more looks at what the Ten Rings will play into. Because Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings and the Mandarin they're, I don't want to say spawns, but they are spawns of the Iron Man comic storyline. Because the Mandarin is the major enemy of Iron Man.
Yeah.
In the comics, which is so bizarre. You'd think it would be like a tech giant like Justin Hammer, but it's not. So my theory, we'll get a little peek at the origin of Shang-Chi. There might be, like you said, a post-credit scene that kind of ties it to modern times with the multiverse breaking, possibly getting the real villain version of the Mandarin coming to our timeline. And then they're going to do the same thing with the Eternals, but I think the Eternals is going to be like a pre-sequel kind of deal where we get a little bit of the origin that shows that the Eternals have existed through all of time. And then cut into now with the multiverse breaking, introducing possibly another big bad.
Okay.
Or using the Eternals and the Eternals power struggle to introduce other potential movie franchises that have yet to be announced.
Right.
Because Feige has said that there are other things that they have to announce, but they can't announce yet.
Yeah. So looking at it currently, this one was updated as of July 8th, so it's relatively up to date. So up next we have What If, August. Then September we have Shang-Chi, and then we have nothing slated for October. So that could be either Hawkeye or Miss Marvel, because both Hawkeye and Miss Marvel are slated for late 2021.
Yep.
Then November we have Eternals.
Well, didn't Hawkeye get pushed to 2022?
Not according to this, and this was July 8th, so unless you heard that since July 8th.
I didn't think of the original announcement.
Because that was just last week.
Right.
July 8th, right?
Yeah.
And then...
a week ago.
And then... About a week ago. Sorry. And then Spider-Man closes out 2021 on December. And then starting 2022, the earliest one I see in 2022 is Doctor Strange in March. Let me just double check here. Yep, no Disney Plus series. Then, other than Moon Knight and She-Hulk are just listed as 2022. No,
I know
month.
Moon Knight is supposed to be like mid 2022, and She-Hulk is late.
Okay.
Or I think actually Moon Knight is supposed to be early, She-Hulk was mid, and Secret Invasion is late.
Okay. And then we also have the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special,
which is going to be completely irrelevant, I think.
Yeah, I hope to God they don't make it like as bad as the Star Wars Holiday Special.
You would think they would learn, but again, it's Disney, so who knows?
I feel like they might actually try and make it very similar to the Star Wars Holiday Special as a joke. Or at least have some moments where they reference the Star Wars Holiday Special in some way.
Maybe. But before we get too far into that, because that could take us off track.
Yeah.
Looking at the way they're doing the schedule of releases, we're looking at about 4 to 5 movies per year.
Okay.
So I'm thinking what it's looking like. It looks like 2022 is fully fleshed out. Those are the movies we're getting: Doctor Strange, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther 2, and the Marvels. Quantumania kicks off 2023, and then we only have 2 other movies after that. We don't have any Avengers films scheduled. We don't have anything tying the universe together. So I'm thinking, and here's my theory. I think they're going to either announce the next Avengers film or announce something to do with like a team up that comes after Fantastic Four or between Guardians and Fantastic Four. Because they said Fantastic Four is going to be the last film in Phase 4. So I did say that, and there's no release date on that yet. So we have a February release and a May release for 2023. I'm thinking we're going to get a July release of an Avengers film or a Thunderbolts film, which will be announced after Spider-Man or after Doctor Strange 2. That's my theory, because then that would round out at 4 films in the year, and then we would get Fantastic Four around November, December of that year.
Okay.
Unless they announce 2 films that year and we get a November and a December film, like we get this year.
Well, so what I'm looking at here is that... So for the past few Avengers films, like the big ones, they've released in April, right?
May. They usually release the first weekend in May.
Okay.
And they typically leave that for their big tie-in films, but they're breaking that mold this year because their big tie-in film is in March.
Yeah.
That's their next big tie-up movie, is
With Doctor
introducing
Strange.
characters. Yeah, because we know Doctor Strange is supposed to be in Spider-Man: No Way Home, and we know Wanda Maximoff is going to be in Doctor Strange 2.
And
I
they
have a
recently confirmed that Loki is going to show up in Doctor Strange.
Right, so Loki's going to show up. I think there might be a Spider-Man cameo. So this is going to be kind of like Civil War, where it's like a soft Avengers film.
Okay.
And then Thor: Love and Thunder is their next like blockbuster film, because they want it to be the next Ragnarok, because it's Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
It doesn't really tie anything together. It just kind of changes the pace a little bit. And then Black Panther 2 will keep that pace. Same thing with the Marvels. And then the next big team up type film that like goes into the major storyline would be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, because that's the next confirmed appearance of Kang.
Right.
We know he's the main antagonist of Quantumania. But with the timeline being split in the multiverse, he can potentially show up in any of these films.
Yeah.
Not as like a main antagonist, but as like a catalyst for certain things.
Yeah, and especially since what we just mentioned with Shang-Chi potentially taking place before the events of the multiversal split, we can't be for certain at what point, except for maybe Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, we can't be completely certain as to where these movies actually take place in the timeline, or in what we know as the timeline. Like, there's a good chance that the Marvels could potentially take place just a little bit after the initial portion of WandaVision.
Right.
Because there are theories out there that the post-credit scene in WandaVision takes place the moment the multiverse splits. And that's why she can hear her kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. The only other thing I can see that would throw the timeline, or like the release line in a loop, is when does Loki season 2 happen?
Yeah, that's another thing.
Because we have speculation that we might get a second season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it's not as pertinent to like the overarching MCU timeline right now. We know WandaVision was a one-off. It was meant to introduce the possibility of a multiverse. We knew something else was coming, blah, blah, blah.
And establish her as a Nexus being.
And establish her as a Nexus being, give her that big power-up. This was her power-up, and make her the comic accurate character.
Which
Loki,
actually...
no.
Sorry. That just brought something to my attention. So if you look at the What If trailer, you see that there is footage of Wanda Maximoff being in an alternate timeline in the What If series. But if they follow along with the comic book accurate meaning of a Nexus being, that means her appearance in that alternate timeline is still her, like the her that we know, because Nexus beings
it's not
are
a variant.
Yeah, the Nexus beings, they're one and only. They stay the same no matter what timeline they're in. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out in the What If series, because I think that might be the story arc that we need to pay attention to the most, as far as going in line with the main overarching story.
Well, I think, and the thing is, I think a lot of people are discounting What If as kind of a throwaway series, because it was such a throwaway comic series. I mean, you got some like ridiculous things like, what if Spider-Man were a criminal, or what if Iron Man died of his heart condition, that kind of thing.
Right.
But this is bringing up like different storylines that could actually potentially correlate to things that happen in future films or shows. So I think there might actually be some information that we get in What If that's going to be important for what's to come in the MCU.
Yeah, because they even stated that even before Loki came out, that the What If series is canon.
Yes. It's not separate. It's not an anthology series that's outside of things. It's the Watcher telling alternate versions of things that happened. And actually, the showrunner for Loki said that one of the storylines for What If was teased in Loki.
Really?
In the episode episode 1, where they bring him into the MCU, or into the TVA, in the background you can see
Peggy?
Sharon Carter. No, Peggy. Yeah, sorry, I don't know why I said Sharon. Peggy Carter as Captain Britain.
Oh shit.
After
So
the
that was
finale,
confirmed.
It's confirmed that it's her.
Oh, damn. Because I remember everyone was speculating that because like they were like,
Yep.
yo, hold up. Is that Peggy?
Yeah.
And we
so
were like,
they're saying that's probably Peggy Carter, and that's one of the major storylines that they're advertising in the What If series. So
that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. But like my whole overarching theory is like all this stuff's gonna be connected. If they're gonna put Loki season 2 anywhere, because it got overwhelming results. We knew it was gonna be good, but we didn't know it was gonna be this good. I think if they're gonna put it anywhere, it's either gonna be directly before or directly after Quantumania.
Loki season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say potentially before.
So,
like,
or
I'm
maybe
thinking,
during.
Well, I was thinking like December 2022.
Yeah, that would make sense. Do December, end the year out with Loki, or start the year with. No, give it a break.
Yeah.
Do December 2022 for Loki season 2. If not, then.
And then you can have like a nice little Christmas season finale or something.
No, I don't want a Christmas episode with Loki.
You don't want a Christmas episode with Loki?
No.
You know, he finally goes back to Jotunheim and says, "Father."
No.
And Laufey's like, "Son."
No, he's like,
"Merry Christmas."
And Laufey's like, what are you doing here? I sold you.
Come on, Christmas on Jotunheim, that'd be awesome. I love snow.
I feel like Christmas on Jotunheim would be a sad, sad time. And they're like, oh boy, it's Christmas. Sure would be great if we could vacation somewhere besides the frozen wasteland that is Jotunheim. Oh wait, Odin killed us all, so we can't leave.
Wait,
Merry friggin' Christmas.
Hold on. Plot twist. Thor's heart grows 3 times as big and visits Jotunheim and says, "Frost giants, come hither."
No.
And then the Bifrost opens up, and then he invites the Frost Giants over to New Asgard.
And in that moment, Xander just sealed his fate. He'll never work for the MCU. Realistically, honestly, so if it doesn't happen before Quantumania, it'll definitely happen after. So they could easily do it between Quantumania and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Because if they use Loki to wrap up the events of Quantumania, it would be kind of smart. So it's like, depending on what the fallout is from Kang the Conqueror in Quantumania, you can wrap all of that up with like Loki working with Mobius to prune other timelines that they're left over.
I don't know though, because I feel like what they're trying to do with these Disney Plus shows is more establishment rather than wrap up. And I think the wrap-ups will be mostly through the movies.
Well, I'm thinking that as well, but honestly, if and this is the first show that was immediately confirmed in the last episode that season 2 is coming.
Yeah.
If they kind of transplant Loki as their Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where every so many films that deals with the multiverse and the timeline, you get a Loki season. It would make sense. So it could be set up, wrap up, set up and wrap up. It kind of does both. But honestly, the next realistic point in time where we should see a season of Loki would be after Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was thinking, just looking at.
But we're not going to get one that soon, unless they've been doing production in secret, or they've produced season 1 and 2 all at once.
They very well could have.
They very well could have, because they did delay the release because of production. They also pushed up the release after it got delayed.
Yep.
Like they moved that time around a lot. So I mean, they may have season 2 just kind of sitting in their pockets.
Yeah.
Ready to roll.
God, I can't wait. This has been a phenomenal ride, and I just want to take this moment to say, was it Yahoo, and any other review critics out there that are bashing the final episode of Loki, y'all are fucking idiots, okay? You're basing this on purely film critic mindset, okay? You have no idea how to look at this as a comic book fan. You have no idea why certain things are happening the way that they are. Okay, so shut the fuck up. Stop ruining my shit.
That's why I don't watch critics reviewing things, because the film critic mindset ruins a lot for people, especially comic book adaptations.
Especially after they praise episode 5 and bash episode 6. When episode 5, like we talked about it, Tuesday. Episode 5 was primarily exposition and Easter eggs. That's it. Like that was it. The biggest moment in that entire episode was the final scene with, classic Loki and Loki and Loki and Loki and Sylvie and Eliath, and then boom. That was it. That was really it, guys. Like everything else about that episode. There wasn't
a whole lot to it. It was a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of little bits that we really, honestly, thinking about it now, we didn't need it.
We needed maybe 30 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 minutes of it to establish the Void, to establish Eliath, to establish, some other plot points. But that was it. Everything else was exposition and
then just get
fan
at that
service.
point, just get us to Chronopolis, get us to.
Oh, so you're actually calling it Chronopolis?
Shut up.
Huh? You're actually calling it Chronopolis now? Huh? Did I hear that right?
Castle on the hill. Just get us to the castle on the hill.
Call Ed Sheeran.
Kang's
get us to the castle on the hill.
Kang's Moving Castle, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Get us there quicker. Like, I don't understand how critics are praising episode 5 but bashing 6, because 6 was nice for a finale because it was a lot of good storytelling. A lot of people complained that Kang did most of his ending, Kang, Immortus, whatever. I'm just calling him Kang to make it easier.
It basically is Kang. I mean, hashtag still Kang.
I don't want to do this anymore. But he did his entire thing behind the desk, and that was a lot of people's complaints. He didn't fight anybody. I'm like, but he who remains in the comics is just a frail old man. Which
he alludes to in this episode.
Yeah.
He says, I'm older than I look.
Yeah, there's a lot of comic reference in this show that a lot of critics won't get. Or if they do get it, they're choosing to ignore it just to be able to bash something on the internet because that's the popular thing to do. But in reality,
that's the only way to get views nowadays, is to openly bash something and go against the grain.
In reality, this is the best finale we've had so far.
Absolutely, 110%.
Like I'll give WandaVision their props for the special effects in their finale, but they left a lot of loose ends.
Yeah, I will say I think WandaVision's would be in the number 2 spot for me.
I disagree.
Really?
I would put Falcon and the Winter Soldiers at number 2 because they left a lot less loose ends. They directly set up a future movie and the future of their show. They had well-balanced action with story. They had an actual wrap up and finale to where if the show doesn't get continued, then it doesn't matter.
I just still don't like Sharon Carter being the power broker.
Well, me either, but that was a choice that wasn't pertinent to the finale either. But honestly, WandaVision's finale left you wanting a season 2 of WandaVision.
Yeah. But our season 2 of WandaVision is a movie.
Right, but it's not really WandaVision because Vision is just missing at this point.
Yeah, you're right. That part too. We still have no answer to that.
We have no answer to where Vision is. We have no answer to the whole interaction between Monica Rambeau and the Skrulls. They tried to set up so much in one finale that it left a lot to be desired. That's why I put it at 3rd out of the 3 we have. Loki was definitely the best. I think they learned a little bit with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It gave us a really good finale. It gave us a nice wrap up to Sam's journey to becoming Captain America. It gave us some more character development for Bucky. We know where he's going next. We know what they're doing. So they're set. basically. Like we ain't got to worry about them. Them kids are grown. They can walk
Them
on their
kids
own.
grown.
But with WandaVision, it's like, okay, we know they're leading into the movie. We know we're leading into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But with all the other loose ends they left around, and all the things they tried to set up in a show, what if people who are just going to see the movies didn't watch the show?
Mm-hmm.
You go in to see Doctor Strange because you like Doctor Strange. You didn't give two shits about the Scarlet Witch, so you didn't watch WandaVision, or you didn't want to pay for Disney Plus to watch WandaVision.
I will say,
And
if you don't give two shits about Scarlet Witch, you're messed up in the head.
Well, okay, yeah, but I mean, think about the average moviegoer, not the comic fan.
Yeah.
Like people who just go to see the Marvel movies because it's like, oh, their kid loves Iron Man, or their kid
Hell,
loves Doctor Strange.
they'll love Scarlet Witch just for Elizabeth Olsen.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I love Scarlet
Come
Witch
on.
just for Elizabeth Olsen, but you know. But think about it in that aspect. Say you didn't watch the show and you go into Doctor Strange, and it's like, okay, last time I saw Scarlet Witch, she was wearing leather trench coats and crying. Now she has this badass outfit, a great mom do. She's snarky and she's super powerful. And what's that book? Who's that woman, Agatha? We don't know who that is. They set up a lot in a show that could leave people confused. So that's kind of why I ranked that one a little bit lower. The show as a whole, fantastic.
I probably wouldn't put it past them to have like some sort of quick exposition in Doctor Strange.
They're gonna have to
to kind of mitigate that issue there.
I mean, think about it. It's been a whole year. It'll have been an entire year, if not more, since the WandaVision finale when Doctor Strange 2 comes out. And if we're directly going from WandaVision to Doctor Strange 2, then like
So we got Coop here. What did you mean we didn't need the Thanos copter? We totally needed that. We actually totally needed that. As comic book fans, we definitely need that. He did allude to all of himself as theorized, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
In reference to Kang.
Yeah, he mentioned all of like the major versions. He said in some places I'm a conqueror, other places a king. Shit like that. Like
I've been known by many names. A king, Ramatut, a conqueror, Kang. Yeah, that was really cool. As soon as he said conqueror, I literally just like turned back to Jackie. I was just like, he said it.
He said Kang.
No, he said conqueror. He basically said Kang.
He basically said Kang.
Yeah.
Close enough for me.
Also, his little during his little story time with the like figures on the desk, you can actually see when all the versions of himself are attacking each other. If you pause it during that and look closely, those versions of himself, some of them are actually have like the Kang helmet and the Kang suit and everything. I thought that was really cool. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find the screenshot of it. There's a point in the finale where the when the timeline splits, behind one of the big branches you can see the outline of Kang, like behind it. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch then. Oh, here we go. I found the image finally that I was looking for earlier.
Okay.
Let me see here. It's not big by any means, but it is an image. Oh, look at that. Ocean Shrine just added me as a friend on Xbox. Finally.
Oh,
Wait, I thought he already had me added. What the Okay, dude. Okay. But yeah, it's tiny. It's muy tiny.
Maybe I'm reaching on this one because now I'm rewatching the scene and I don't see it anymore. I saw it the first time I watched it. I looked over. I'm like, wow, is that an outline of Kang? But it's just the colorization of the sky behind him, of like the infinite timelines branching. It just kind of looks like a bluish green face with the purple helmet outlined.
Oh, okay. Actually, we might be able to get away with showing like a scene.
Think so? I don't know. It is copyrighted material.
New Rockstars does it all the time, okay?
I wouldn't risk it. We're new. We're a baby channel. We have less than 20 subscribers.
Well, all right. If you guys want us to play scenes from Loki, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Make us bigger so they can't get rid of us.
Exactly. Oh, man. Well, oh, that's weird.
But that pretty much
I
covers
clicked
my
drag.
theories.
Oh, that's fucking weird. Okay. Yeah, I honestly, at this point, they could go, especially with adding the Eternals and the Celestials, at least in my mind, they could do a whole slew of things at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Which
The possibilities
just,
are infinite.
but yeah. So with that, I think we can go ahead and wrap up tonight's episode.
I agree.
Wow, look at that.
We're finally back on the same page.
Look at that. We are on time too. That is amazing. Look at us go. We're just getting better and better each time we do this stuff.
Absolute professionals here.
Yeah, absolute. Especially when I go like blah, 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 blah.
Still catches me off guard every time. Every time.
But all right. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I know it's difficult to see us twice in 1 week. So thank you so much for hanging out with us and listening to us ramble. I will be going on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jagger to give you guys the little roadmap we have for the next couple weeks.
So next week we actually weren't going to have an episode because he was going to be away, with us possibly trying to schedule an IRL stream of us actually together for the first time ever. But I am still going to continue the show on Tuesday. I will be talking about the current state of comic adaptations, going over where the MCU is headed, where the DC Extended Universe is headed, even the film projects that Image Comics is doing. Giving an update on what's in production, what's not in production, what's completed, what's coming out, and what we know about upcoming films. Not sure if I'll have a co-host or not. I might just be me on myself. We'll see.
I'll see if we're free that day. Maybe I can swing by.
Okay.
Might be jarring for everyone here to see both of us on the same webcam.
On the same webcam. I mean, my screen's wide enough. We could just kind of face it and be good to go.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? That'd be wild if I just went like, let me just real quick, just jump, and then all of a sudden I'm in your webcam.
Record that before you leave so that we can edit that in.
Oh my god, that'd be so sick. I'd have to wear the same
funny.
shirt I'd have to wear the same clothes. Oh no. Fuck it. No. Movie magic.
We could make it work.
Yeah, we can make it work.
If the big studios don't need to pay attention to continuity, then neither do we.
Exactly. But anyway, if there are any topics you guys would like to see us cover on this channel, on his channel, on my channel, on Coop and Charles's channel, Otaku's Anonymous. Why am I saying channel? It's the same channel. We're on the box.
Why do you keep saying channels? It's the
I keep
box.
saying channel. I know. Maybe
Shows.
the box has many channels. Who knows? Anyway, if you guys want to see,
the box has layers. There's so many.
if you guys want to
layers
see
inside
more
the
of us,
box.
if you guys want us to talk about what you guys want us to talk about, please leave a suggestion in the comments down below. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. As I've said so many times tonight, I feel like a broken record, but please do it so I don't have to say it no more.
It really does help us out. YouTube's discoverability algorithm is like, you have reasonable content that people might like. You don't have any likes? Pshaw. We're not going to show this to anybody.
Hashtag Pshaw.
Hashtag Pshaw.
That's P-U-H Shaw.
Shaw.
But also, both Jagger and I also stream on Twitch, so be sure to follow us there. We have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have a Discord server. Link is in the description below, I believe. If not, I'll add it. It's also in our banner. So if you go to our channel banner, you can click on either Discord, our Twitch channels, whatever. We have it all there. But anyway, thank you again so much, guys. And this will be the end of our show. You guys have a good night and stay nerdy. Bye-bye.
Bye.